Next up, exploring the advantages of songwriting and NFTs. Really great segue into the next layer of the conversation that this esteemed panel started. Really looking forward to hearing BStract and Emily Faye talk about exploring the advantages of songwriting and NFTs.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? My name is Jay. I've been a professional musician for around about 10 years now. I've been very, very lucky to play some great festivals and tour Europe and tour the UK and do some really, really awesome stuff. Working as a session player and so many areas of the music industry.
So we met at university. We studied degrees in music. I studied songwriting and Jay studied popular music in bass. He's a bass player. And yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter, got a degree in songwriting. My name is Emily Faye. I write songs for myself and other artists. Songwriting has always been my biggest passion since I was about 4 years old, I think. And I got told all the time to stop singing at the table and all of these things. And yeah, I've been featured in Rolling Stones magazine, played a whole bunch of festivals, tours, supported some big-name artists. And yeah, really exciting to be in the Web3 space.
Yeah. So in the Web3 space, I'm actually mainly known as for a visual artist under BStract. My name's Jay, by the way. And in the pandemic, just like most musicians, I suppose, all of our tours and everything that we were doing is put on pause. So that actually gave me a bit of time to breathe and focus on artwork. So I was creating a piece of art collection. I was painting about 150 pieces over 18 months, and I discovered NFTs, listened to Steve-O from Jackass on, and had Mark Cuban on as a guest. And I basically went from that podcast in Emily's garden and just minted 150 pieces of art. I made loads of mistakes and spent that summer in just learning about Web3. I got really lucky in the following October. This is October 21. And I got a message from Mark Cuban who said he really loved my artwork and he shared it to his 9 million followers. And that thing's kind of kicked off my art career, which was just wild. So since then, I've been really lucky to have my work displayed in UK, here in the US, Asia, Europe, everywhere really.
Times Square.
And last night was Times Square, which was a bit of a moment, very emotional. Yeah, so what are we talking about now? Oh yeah, Emily, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, as witnessing everything that Jay was going through in the art space in the Web3 and all the opportunity he found through art, he kind of said to me, Emily, if this is the way the music industry is going to go, you need to be paving it for the women, right? And yeah, I was like, yeah, that's true. So here I am. I've only been in the space about a year. And yeah, I just believe if it's the future of music, then I want to be here. And one thing that's massively helped me understand the Web3 space and get my head around NFTs and everything has been working with Hugs and Randy Zuckerberg's company. It's been incredible. We've been on the accelerator program and they have helped us to no end and really helped my education in terms of the Web3 space and helping us with our project. And I've just learned so much. The advice we've had from them has been invaluable. And it's led to us releasing our first project called 100 Years of Women, and that was released to pre-sale and the waitlist back in International Women's Day in March. But we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. First of all, I'm going to talk about songwriting in NFTs and why I believe that this is the space to be. Now, first and foremost, obviously, monetizing your work and getting paid fairly for what you produce. Streaming, obviously, has undercut songwriters in particularly, in that the artist only gets 0.003p per stream, which means the artist needs to have millions of streams in order to even make a small revenue, really. Plus, not all of that revenue goes directly to the songwriter or to the artist. It's split between members of the team, especially if they're assigned artists, for example. So I believe that NFTs means that you can split the cost. So say there's 2 writers, you can split it between you. It's simple, it's easy, and yeah, everybody gets paid. In terms of ownership and distribution, blockchain technology makes it impossible for a song to be duplicated, which means there's a lot more security for both the artist and the buyer, which again, I just think, look at back in, what was it called, Live Wire or something like that, where you used to pirate, LimeWire, you guys know, LimeWire. The blockchain makes that impossible, which I think is really important. And thirdly, fan engagement, like using a Discord to connect with your fans is amazing. Imagine if like Beyonce had Discord and you could just like message her whenever you wanted. That would just be insane. And I think that's cool, and that's the future. I want to be able to give my fans that connection with me and connection with Jay and whoever's part of the project. I just think that's a really cool way to build your community and to build your fan base and connect with them. And obviously share exclusive content with them. Lastly, I would say the opportunity that's available in the Web3 space is to no end. You can make connections with people that would take you years to cultivate in the Web2 space. For an example, Jay has been in the in Sia's space, the Soul space. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Sia, amazing songwriter, like I'm her biggest fan. And he was in her space and got the opportunity to remix one of her songs. So then he did that, submitted it, and then she chose 5 people from the community, right? And then the community voted, and Jay's won. So he made that connection with Sia just through being in Web3. That would have taken probably years of networking in the Web2 space. So that's why I believe songwriting and NFTs is the future, and a fair pay future. So now we're going to tell you a bit about our project. Yeah. So I'm just going to do a little intro. So true songwriter style, we do have a slide on the project, it might be up there soon, but true songwriter style, it began with a song. So I wrote a song for my little goddaughter who turned 1 last year, and I said I'd like to write a song and rewrite it every year that she turns a year older, and to document her life, and to document everything she can do, from walking to talking to everything until the age of 18. And I shared this idea with Jay, and he said that needs to be an NFT project, and we need to do it 1 to 100 years of women, and each song doesn't even need to represent Billy's life, it can represent any woman's life. So 100 years of women was born, and I'll let you speak a bit more about the project.
Yeah, I see the timer ticking away, so I'm going to speed through it. So like Amy said, it's 100 songs, and that is, I tell you, for any musicians in the room, 100 songs is a nightmare. It's so much work, There is 100 different sets of lyrics. We've also did, whilst the structure of the song is the same, and the tempo and the key, to keep those key elements, but we've still got different melodies, different vocal phrasing, different fills from the instruments, just varying all the different stems. We have a solo section in each song with a host of guest musicians, but 100 solos I even got bored of doing after a while. I had to put a bass solo in there. Well, I'm a bassist, but so that was absolutely wild. And what I think is really beautiful about this is it really lifts the limitations on songwriting. So when you're in the studio, any musicians will know, there's so many variations that you play as a bass player. There's different grooves, there's different fills, there's different everything. And a lot of that gets just left on the cutting room floor. No one really does anything. Usually when you release a song, there's one bass line to that song. And it's really, one of the concepts we're doing is about using the stems that aren't usually used and making them available for your fans. And that's a really great way to monetize the things that you've already done in the studio. You've already paid that time. But they're interesting. I mean, I personally would buy songs from my favorite musicians where they are unique. They're one of one. There's a different bass line. There's a different drum fill that's just available for me. So that's the concept we've been playing, essentially using stems like traits for a 10K collection. So you can release your album or your EP to make unique one of one songs. So another aspect of advantages in the songwriting, advantages of songwriting NFTs is, I'd say music hasn't quite personally hit as mainstream as the art has in the NFT space. Art's been so incredible, but what's really so good is there's so much scope for collaboration with artists. It's unbelievable. It's so not done often, in artists collaborating with artists, but in the Web3 space, this happens every day. And artists collaborating with musicians is something that we're going to see much, much more of. So I think that's really wonderful. So with our project, again, we don't do anything simply. Each has you can see some example there. They're all animated. I painted 200 physical pieces of abstract art, edited each one digitally, added animation to it. It's just been a labor of love. It's so much for it. And I created 100 4-minute animated pieces. One of them was on Times Square last night, which was just huge for me. I can see that going, so I'll be very quick. Utility. So, utility. I think what's really wonderful about Web3 is utility, and being able to, as a songwriter, offer things to your fans and your music for, ticket sales, royalties, collaborating with brands. You take a artist, say, like Dua Lipa. Like, does she know where her millions of fans are, and how is she? If she collaborated with a big brand, how would she get all those to her fans? With Web3, you have all their wallet addresses. You collaborate with a big brand, you can airdrop something. It's huge potential, logistically and just creatively in the space. I think it's your go.
Yeah. So obviously every project needs to have some goals, and our project has 3 main ones. Number 1, we are going to use a percentage of the profits to commission women creatives to create pieces for our holders. Number 2, we are giving a percentage of the profits to a charity called Calling All Crows, which helps prevent violence against women in the music industry and connects fans with feminist movements. And third and foremost, but probably for me the most important, to increase the representation of women in Web3 and beyond. Outside of Web3, 18% of songwriters are women, 18%. I don't even want to know what that is in Web3. But yeah, that needs to change.
Yeah, amazing. And so another point, which I think is the advantage of songwriting, is I really do believe that the future of music is probably in community. It's, any musician knows, like, battling with releasing a song on Spotify that the, algorithm gods are lucky to grant you some special playlists or something. That's not probably the best way to do it. Community, building a strong community around your music is the way forward. And Web3, everybody here, I'm sure, knows, is the perfect place for community. So we were very lucky with our project to collaborate with some, absolutely huge names in the space, like My BFF, Time, Shilly, Infinite Objects, just so many. Yeah. Boss Beauties, there's a whole list. I'm missing out so many. But what's wonderful is, and of course Hugs, who we've been working very closely with. What's wonderful is actually, as a songwriter and a musician, being able to partner with these big companies, big brands, is just so helpful as a songwriter. They obviously need songs for a lot of the things that they do. So it's been wild, building a community and getting to know people, and yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, and meeting everybody in real life here has been awesome. Yeah. It's going to be great. So we opened our project to pre-sale and to waitlist to some winners because we did a few competitions. And just to put things in perspective, just from the revenue made from our pre-sale alone, you would need over 2 million streams on Spotify on one song to make what we've made just from the pre-sale. And do you want to tell everyone some alpha?
Heartbreaking, really. It's only 100 pieces, and I think like 35% of them are sold on pre-sale. So it's not crazy amounts of money, but it's 2 million. It's lifetimes of work. So yeah, we're really trying to fix the music industry is what we're trying to do. A bit of alpha for everyone here in the room. Just before we came on stage, we opened it up to the public. Everyone here is the first one to know. We haven't shared it on our social media or anything. So yeah, if you like what you see there, please check it out, join the community, and we're here for any questions you might have. We've got loads of experience both in Web3, but mainly in the music industry. We've been doing it for 10 years, so we're happy to jump on calls with people and just talk and really genuinely come chat to us in our community. We're here. Yeah,
and if you like art and you like music, you might like this. Each song has a story, and we've kind of done it in a country style because that's what country is, 3 chords and the truth. So yeah, and the art is beautiful. It's incredible. Each one features a woman kind of moving in some way, and it's really beautiful. So make sure you go and check it out. And yeah, please join our community. We'd love to connect with you. I'm also playing a show at the Artists Village tomorrow at 1:00 if you want to come down. And yeah.
Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention, with the utility, there is Web3, of course, we've added some amazing utility. There's a personalized song you can get. So winners can have the chance to have a song written by Emily. We've got, well, everything else we've got. It's some amazing stuff coming out. We've got, art, we've got song subscriptions, we've got
Secret Song Club.
Secret Song Club, music tuition, so much that we wanted to make it very manageable. So those are the things that we're offering. So thank you very much for hanging out and talking
listening.
to us, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.